I'm going to skip around a little bit in these notes, so pay close attention. Okay, a lot of this is review because we've talked about this in class. Lesson 2, absolute value. The distance between a number and 0 on the number line is called its absolute value. And let's recall what that symbol looks like. The absolute value of -7 is 7. We did that in class, and we'll talk about that, what that means in a moment. All right, let's talk about opposites. Positive numbers, such as 2, are graphed to the right or above 0. Positive numbers are to the right of 0 on the number line. Negative numbers, such as -2, are graphed to the left or below 0 on the number line. So negative numbers are to the left. Let's focus on these opposites. Opposites are numbers that are the same distance from 0, but just in the opposite direction. So let's look at our number line down here. Here's 0 here. Okay, and if I were to say, let's graph 2. 2 is right here. 2 is 2 places away from 0. What's the opposite of 2? Well, going in the other direction, starting at 0. We go over 2, so 2's opposite is -2. So that makes sense when you think about it. Since 0 is not negative or positive, 0 is its own opposite. So if the question was, what is the opposite of 0? Your answer would be 0. Okay, this part is a little bit tricky, so we're going to skip that for now. Let's turn the page in our notes and just get right to absolute value, things we already know. The absolute value of a number is, let's fill in the definition, it's the distance between a number and 0 on a number line. So let's take a look at our visual here. We have a model and then we have symbols. So in our model we have this nice number line and it's all laid out for you. We have our positive numbers, we have our negative numbers, and we have 0. Those are all the integers. All those numbers are the set of integers. So they're showing you that if you start at 0 and you go to 4 here, it's 4 units away from 0. If you start at 0 and go to 4 in the opposite direction, that's still 4 units away. So remember those 2 bars here, you could say the absolute value of 4, this equal sign we can say is, and then there's our answer 4. So mathematically, symbols look like that with those bars. And in words, it looks like what it says. The absolute value of 4 is 4. If we read the next example, it says the absolute value of -4 is 4. And that's what our model is showing us. So the integers -4 and 4 are each 4 units from 0. Even though they are on opposite sides of 0. The absolute value of -4, this symbol here, now we know how to read it. We read it the absolute value of -4. So once you get familiar with the math symbols and understand what they mean, those things that used to baffle you and look so complex, that's baby stuff now. The absolute value of, I should have put -4 here. All right, so let's evaluate. Evaluate basically means solve the problem. Evaluate, and how do we read this? We say evaluate the absolute value of -7. So our graph here starts at 0, and it shows you how many units away -7 is from 0. And it's 7 units if we counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the absolute value of -7 is 7. Number 2, evaluate. That means solve it. What is the absolute value of 5 plus the absolute value of 6. If we took out those absolute value symbols, we could solve this real easy. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. Then I have my plus sign. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6. And now I solve it like a regular addition problem. 5 plus 6 is 11. So the answer is 11. Okay, let's look at number 3. We read this, the absolute value of negative 7. We know is 7. Let's keep our subtraction sign. Read this, the absolute value of 3 is 3. So 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, that's enough for now. You try these at home, number 1, 2, and 3. Come back to school with any questions, and we'll talk about how you did. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, Sugar Gliders.